What's this word mean?
Phthalates.
That's pretty good, John. That's pretty good. All right, what does this say?
Phthalates. Is that phthalates?
You know anything about what that means?
Absolutely not.
Nice.
Most Harvard students we interviewed couldn't pronounce phthalates, and even fewer knew what they were. But these chemicals are all around us, and according to the Centers for Disease Control, most Americans probably have phthalates in their bodies. So what exactly are these chemicals, and what should you know about them? Phthalates, also called orthophthalates, are a group of chemicals used to make plastics and other materials more durable and flexible. They all share a characteristic ring-shaped structure. Different phthalates have different chemical components attached that change their properties for a range of applications. As a result, phthalates have found their way into a number of products. For example, they are used in vinyl flooring, paints, carpet backing, plastic packaging, water bottles, personal care products, nail polish, and much, much more. But there's a problem here. Phthalates often leave these products into the surrounding environment. That includes our bodies, too. This is because in many cases, phthalates are not actually chemically bound to plastics and other materials. They are simply held in place by attractive forces that can be broken much more easily than a chemical bond. And this release of phthalates is a big problem, because phthalates are known to be endocrine disruptors. They interfere with important and delicate hormonal systems in our bodies and are associated with a range of health risks. To find out more about how phthalates enter and affect our bodies, we talked to Dr. Russ Hauser at the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health, who has decades of experience studying effects from phthalates. Here's what he had to say.
Phthalates are a family of chemicals, several dozen actually. They are very, very widely used. They're used in many different products, so that leads to many different sources of human exposure. So there's literally probably hundreds, if not thousands, of different ways in which we can be exposed, and we're exposed primarily through ingestion, through diet, inhalation, and also dermal contact as well. And there are some subsets of the population that are more highly exposed. People that are using more personal care products will have higher exposures. So for some of the phthalates, for instance, women of reproductive age may have higher exposure than older women or men. Also, for children, there is also some specialized sources of exposure as well. And then there's also data showing racial ethnic differences in exposure to some phthalates.
Dr. Hauser also explained the health effects linked to these chemicals.
Some of the phthalates have been associated with changes in fertility in men and women, which means their ability to get pregnant and have a child. Also, some of the phthalates have been associated with diseases like asthma and other health effects. And also, exposure of the mother during pregnancy has been associated with some behavioral outcomes in children. And these could include things like aggression or ability to concentrate, things along those lines.
Dr. Hauser clarified that different types of phthalates may be associated with different levels of exposure and different health complications, but the general picture is clear. Phthalate exposure is widespread, frequent, and has the potential to enact serious damage in our bodies. However, phthalates are not a particularly persistent type of chemical. Unlike other types of contaminants, such as PFAS, our bodies don't seem to accumulate phthalates. Rather, once inside us, phthalates are quickly broken down and excreted.
And the reason for this is even though they have very short half-lives, so what you had for breakfast, for instance, this morning, if it contained phthalates, by this evening, be excreted, but you have multiple exposures throughout the day. You'll have, breakfast, maybe a snack, lunch, dinner, personal care products. You may shower in the morning, put products on in the afternoon, etc. So you're having repeated exposures throughout the day, which kind of maintains, up and down levels in your body.
So it turns out that the main reason why phthalates are a long-term threat to our health is simply because we're exposed to so many of them on a practically continuous basis. Research has shown that the same is true in the environment as well. According to the Environmental Protection Agency, phthalates are actually quite biodegradable. but we simply use so many phthalates all the time that they have been found almost everywhere in our environment. The good news is that if we can stop actively polluting ourselves and our environment with phthalates, their natural tendency to degrade should do the rest of the work for us.
The best way to reduce population exposure would be legislation at the federal government level and state level to either restrict or reduce the use of phthalates in certain products.
Meanwhile, at Harvard, the Office for Sustainability is trying something different. They've been working on a more holistic approach. They want to remove phthalates from all buildings and products throughout campus, rather than targeting only specific chemicals or items. To learn more about these ongoing phthalate replacement efforts, we sat down with Heather Henriksen, Harvard's Chief Sustainability Officer.
I think that removing phthalates in your products, especially your interior products, your carpet, your flooring, your window treatments, your wallpapers, should be a high priority just because it's so now readily available and there really aren't cost differences between quality products.
Okay, folks, what have we learned about phthalates?
They're a common plastic additive used to make products more durable.
And these chemicals end up in our bodies when we breathe in plastic dust or consume foods and liquids that have been in plastics with phthalates.
Phthalates are associated with a number of negative health impacts, including disrupting hormonal cycles.
If governments, communities, and building managers take a holistic approach to removing phthalates from products and built environments, we can reduce our exposure drastically. Like the Office for Sustainability, we should be replacing phthalates with products that we know are safer.